Meteor Strike is from the Red Lion and is a great beginner pet for fighting bosses. The Meteor Strike skill rains down fiery meteors onto enemies and is great against larger hitboxes, aka bosses. The pet is extremely strong with dual wielding classes because of their double pet damage passive. The Lion is from World 4, making it easily accessible for new players. However, there are better options, placing this into the B tier. The Black Hole skill is from the Black Butterfly and is the best dungeon pet for beginners because of how easy the pet is to obtain. The Black Hole skill is one of the best mob clearing skills due to its crowd control utility. It groups up mobs and stops them from moving, making this pet very strong in case you need to get away. You can get this pet as early as World 4 from the Pharaoh Egg, making this pet easy to get and earning its spot into the A tier. Pumpkin Patch is from the Spooky Witch Cat, which is from the 2022 Halloween event. This cat came at a low drop rate from the Wicked Egg, which came from the ticket spins on the Halloween wheel. The Witch Cat is a direct upgrade to the Black Butterfly because of its poison application in addition to the Black Hole skill. Poison effects deal percent-based damage, making this pet strong for endgame content as well as being the best mob clearer pet for Infinite Tower. The cat is quite expensive and I would get your hands on it before the prices get too high, but the Witch Cat is our first spot on the S tier ranking. Snowstorm is from the White Fox tier and is undoubtedly the strongest boss pet. It is from the 2022 Christmas event and the acquisition is just like the Witch Cat, but it comes from the Holiday Egg. This pet is a direct upgrade to the Red Lion pet with the addition of 2 status effects. The Snowstorm skill applies Super Frost and Vulnerability debuff to bosses, which makes the boss take 3% enemy HP per second, and the player deals 40% more damage to the boss. The pet is extremely expensive, rare, and powerful, and because of this, it goes into the top of S tier. Frontal Fire is from Vane, the Aether Dragon, and Vane is from the Aether Egg at an extremely low drop rate from the Aether Tower. The egg can only be dropped off of the final boss. Because the pet is still accessible in-game, it is a strong alternative for the White Fox tier. Additionally, Vane is the best pet for Infinite Tower due to its unique status effect, Aether Burn. The Frontal Fire skill applies Aether Fire debuff, which is different from the standard burn effect, because Aether Burn deals the highest percentage scaling in the game. Frontal Fire skill earns its spot in the S tier. Skeletal Slash is from the Fallen King pet. This pet has a 0.04% drop rate from the Fallen King boss fight, making it very expensive. The Fallen King Skeletal Slash has a very small hitbox and is hard to land against enemies. In addition, the skill applies the burn effect, which means it overlaps with Burn Chance and the Elementalist. Because of this, the Fallen King is that good and I place it into the A tier. Mightier Nice is from the Corrupted Klaus. This pet is from the Santa Egg at a 0.01% drop rate from the event boss. Because of this, the pet is very hard to get. The pet skill can either buff the player or debuff the boss. The buff is called Christmas Magic and the debuff is Vulnerable. Christmas Magic increases the player damage by 30% and the Vulnerable debuff increases the damage bosses take by 40%, making the Vulnerable buff the better option. However, due to its RNG element, the pet is not nearly as strong as the White Fox tier. Because of this, I'm placing it into the A tier, but it is better than the Fallen King pet. Spirit Beam is from the Ghost Pets. These pets can be found from the Ghost Eggs from, once again, the Halloween event. However, there are 4 different versions of this pet. The Spirit Beam alone is a direct downgrade from the Black Hole skill in terms of duration and damage, and of the 4 variants, the White Ghost is the weakest because it does not inflict any status effect. Orange version inflicts a burn effect, which is good, but once again, it gets overridden by Burn Chance and by the Elementalist. Green version inflicts poison. It is worse than the Spooky Witch Cat in terms of duration and damage, and the purple version is the best version of the Ghost Pet. This pet deals Aether Burn damage, which is very good, however it is significantly worse than Vane. The White Ghost goes into D tier, orange into D tier, green into C tier, and purple into A tier. Feline Fury is from the 5-star cat pets, and it is a fun perk to use if you want to run around very fast, but there's no real reason to explore the world in World 0, so it's not that useful. However, it's okay if you want to run low-level dungeons for guild points, but it's not that useful for anything aside for speedrunning, so it goes into the D tier. energy charger is from the white butterfly, and this pet is the sibling of the black one, but it doesn't deal any damage. This skill passively increases your energy recharge and fills your ult when you use it. In my opinion, it's not that useful, but some people like to use it on classes with strong ults like the dual wielder, but I think it's much better to just run a damage dealing pet, so I'm putting it into the D tier. The golden egg has 10 variants of the current existing pets in the game. They were also buffed when the golden egg was released, but the recolors are the same thing as the current existing pets. There's nothing different except for the appearance. The best golden egg pet is the butterfly, but the dire blast, poison breath, meteor mortar, and glacier whirlpool are all okay options, but are weaker or about the same as the red lion at a more expensive price. Because of this, I put them all into C tier at best, and if I didn't mention the other pets, they're trash and you shouldn't use them. Healing pets in World 0 are tricky because they are a significant damage loss, and in an ideal situation, you should never need any healing in the game. If you find yourself absolutely needing healing, you should use Life Drain or Vampiric on your weapon, and if you're AFK farming and need some way to heal, any of the pets work. They all do the same thing. All the healing pets are going into the F tier because they're not good. Fireball is from the red spider, and the red spider is pretty decent for dealing quick damage, but it falls short of the red lion. The ability applies the burn effect to bosses, but burn effects overlap with burn chance and other burn status effects. Red Spider C tier. The Spooky Fireball is the 4-star version of the Spooky Witch Cat. This pet is a great way to apply poison effects to bosses, but other than that, it is just a worst witch cat. C tier. Snowball is the blue version of the spider pet, which is from the Christmas event. This pet is unique because it has 100% uptime on its debuff. The slow is nice to use against infinite tower bosses if you aren't playing a slow class, and so it's a little bit useful in niche situations, earning its spot into the B tier. If your pet didn't make the tier list, it's trash and you shouldn't be using it. There are some cool unobtainable pets like the Alpha Dragon and Boulder, but they're untrainable and no one really cares.